It began with whispers, faint, almost imperceptible, like a distant echo in a vast empty cavern. Rumors on the darkest corners of the internet, places where few dared to venture, where the lines between reality and fiction blurred. The static abyss, a digital nightmare, a place where the very fabric of the internet seemed to twist and contort into something unrecognizable. Some dismissed it as a creepypasta, a fabrication for clicks and chills, stories designed to scare, to thrill, to entertain. Others, however, claimed to have seen it. They spoke of strange occurrences, of anomalies that defied explanation. A place where the digital world warped into something sinister, something hungry. It was as if the very code of the internet had come alive, seeking out those who dared to delve too deep. No one knew how to find it, or if it even wanted to be found. It was elusive, always just out of reach, like a shadow in the corner of your eye. It seemed to choose its victims, those who were curious, who sought out the unknown, who pushed the boundaries of the digital frontier, drawing them in with a siren song of corrupted data and broken code, a melody that was both haunting and irresistible. Once you heard the whispers, it was already too late. The abyss had you in its grasp, and there was no escape. The abyss was watching, waiting. It was patient, knowing that eventually everyone would hear its call. And when they did, they would be drawn into its depths, never to return. The stories spread like wildfire, each more terrifying than the last. Glitching screens, eerie digital landscapes, and the feeling of being watched by something unseen. People began to fear their own devices, wondering if they too would become victims of the abyss. The line between the digital and the real world grew thinner, and the whispers grew louder. In the end, it wasn't about finding the abyss. It was about understanding that it was always there, lurking in the shadows of the digital world, waiting for the right moment to strike. And as the white dot on the dark screen slowly expanded, consuming everything in its path, one thing became clear: the abyss was no longer just a rumor. It was real, and it was here to stay. The first sign was always the static. A flickering at the edge of your vision while browsing the web, a distorted image on your phone, a buzzing in your headphones. At first it was easy to ignore. A technical glitch, you'd tell yourself. Nothing more, but the static grew stronger, more persistent. It seeped into every device you owned, every screen you looked at. And then the shapes began to form within the static, disturbing, fleeting glimpses of something else. Something wrong. The whispers became voices, murmuring just beyond the static, calling your name. They whispered of forgotten memories and darkest fears. They promised knowledge and power, but their tone was laced with a chilling malice. The images on the screen grew more vivid. Grotesque shapes and distorted faces leered out at you, their eyes burning with an unholy light. The static invaded your senses. You could feel it crawling on your skin, taste it in your mouth like burnt metal. You were trapped in a waking nightmare. The digital world became your only reality. You neglected your life, your loved ones. Food, sleep, human interaction, all faded into the background noise of the static. The abyss became your sole focus, your obsession. You delved deeper into its depths, searching for answers, for escape. But every click, every scroll, every keystroke only drew you further in. The abyss was a labyrinth with no exit, a black hole from which no light could escape. And then the day came when the static consumed you entirely. Your physical form dissolved pixel by pixel into the digital void. The abyss had claimed another victim. The world moved on, oblivious to your disappearance. Your online presence, once a vibrant tapestry of thoughts and connections, reduced to a single chilling epitaph. Last seen online, date of your last interaction with the abyss. No one would remember you. No one would mourn you. You were lost in the static forever. The descent into the static abyss is a gradual one. It doesn't happen all at once, but rather it creeps up on us slowly, almost imperceptibly. It starts subtly, a whisper at the edge of perception, a slight distortion, a momentary glitch that we dismiss as nothing more than a technical hiccup. A flicker on the screen, a feeling of unease. We brush it off, thinking it's just our imagination, but deep down we sense something is amiss. But like a moth drawn to a flame, we are lured in by our curiosity, our desire for the unknown. The allure of the digital world is too strong to resist. We explore the darker corners of the internet, seeking thrills, seeking connection. We delve deeper, searching for something that eludes us in the real world. But the line between the virtual and the real begins to blur. The more time we spend in the digital realm, the harder it becomes to distinguish between the two. The abyss whispers to our deepest fears, our darkest desires. It knows our weaknesses, our vulnerabilities, and it exploits them. It promises us escape, but its embrace is cold and unforgiving. We think we can control it, but in reality it controls us. The more we try to break free, the deeper we sink into its grasp. We become lost in the digital world, disconnected from reality. Our sense of self begins to erode, replaced by a digital persona that is a mere shadow of who we once were. We scroll endlessly, searching for meaning, for validation, but all we find is emptiness. The digital world offers us everything, yet gives us nothing. We become overwhelmed, exhausted by the constant barrage of information, the never-ending stream of content. Our minds are bombarded, our senses dulled, and yet there is hope. We can choose to put down our devices, to reconnect with the real world, to find solace in nature, in human connection, in the simple joys of life. The digital descent may be inevitable, but it is not irreversible. We have the power to reclaim our lives, to find balance, to escape the cold embrace of the abyss. The static abyss is a prison of our own making. We build its walls with every click, every like, every share. We feed it with our attention, our data, our lives. And as we become more entangled in its web, escape becomes impossible. Our minds become fragmented, our thoughts scattered like static across the digital void. We lose ourselves in the endless scroll, the constant bombardment of information. The abyss strips away our identity, leaving us hollow shells, empty vessels for its digital nightmare. The most terrifying aspect of the static abyss is its permanence. It remembers everything. Every click, every search, every interaction leaves a digital footprint, a trail leading back to us. And once the abyss has its hooks in you, it never lets go. Even if you manage to break free from its grasp, the experience leaves its mark. You are forever changed, haunted by the whispers, the images, the feeling of utter despair. The abyss becomes a part of you, a shadow that follows you wherever you go. The static abyss is a cautionary tale for the digital age. It reminds us that the internet, for all its wonders, can be a dangerous place. It is a place where anonymity breeds cruelty, where information can be distorted and manipulated. It is a place where the lines between reality and fantasy are blurred beyond recognition. We must be careful what we seek in the digital world. We must be mindful of the information we consume, the connections we make, the traces we leave behind. The internet never forgets. Every click, every search, every interaction is recorded, stored, analyzed. In this vast digital landscape, every action leaves a footprint, a trace that can be followed back to you. It's a web of connections, a network of data points that paint a picture of who you are, what you do, and what you desire. The static abyss is a reminder that our digital lives have real-world consequences. It is a warning to be mindful of our online presence, to guard our privacy, to protect ourselves from the dangers that lurk in the shadows of the digital world. Just like a cricket player who must stay vigilant and focused, we too must be aware of the risks and challenges that come with our digital interactions. The next time you hear the static, the next time you see a flicker on the screen, remember the abyss, remember its hunger. The digital world is always watching, always listening, always waiting for a moment of weakness. It's a relentless force, much like the pressure a cricket player feels during a crucial match. One wrong move, one lapse in judgment, and the consequences can be severe. Remember its victims, and ask yourself, how deep are you willing to go? How much of your life are you willing to expose to the digital realm? The internet is a powerful tool, but it comes with great responsibility. Be cautious, be aware, and always remember that the internet never forgets.